the one time I did have a girl come in, this beautiful Hispanic girl that wanted me to give her Asian eyes. She literally wanted me to inject on the top of her eyelids to get, and I was like, what? I said, no way. Like, that's what I call it. I go, if your cul-de-sac is shiny, this is what I tell men. If your cul-de-sac is shiny, it's over, baby. I mean, those follicles, I have to be able to see follicles in there because then we could re-stimulate that hair to grow. There's so much stuff on the horizon coming out. I really think they're going to cure baldness in the next 10 years. Hey everybody, it's Erin Alonso here from DermFx with my friend Amber from Facial Lounge. Hey. All right, Amber, what's going on?
Well, I am just happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Always.
I was, right before we started, talking about your smooth skin and your hairless skin.
Oh, well.
I'm
yes.
like kind of, and you said,
you.
okay, I know. I was like, Erin, I want all that. So you said you had laser hair removal and spider bane removal?
Yes, I did.
And you have so much hair. Like,
I have a ton of hair.
I was like, you're so jealous. And you're like, I was so hairy. And I'm
yeah,
like,
don't be that jealous. It comes with a
where?
full gorilla beard. I literally had to laser my forehead, like my lower eyes, the top of my nose, man beard down to my toes. I mean, I even had hair like here. So when people think that like, oh, you're so lucky. Let me tell you, when I was a teenager, it was miserable. The worst. I couldn't go anywhere because I would get a 5 o'clock man shadow. Like I would,
young, you had it young.
Oh, I feel like I was born like a ugly monkey, man. I was like one of those babies that only a mother could love. I look at that picture and I'm like, woo, like it's a good thing your mother
But you got so much
doesn't know how ugly you are.
hair on your head. I mean, you've always had this much hair. And you're
Yeah,
like
I don't
so
know.
lucky genetically. Like, oh,
I think it's just genetic because I don't do anything.
I buy mine. I mean, my hair, I have extensions, and my hair. But with
Although I
extensions.
think if I didn't have any hair, I have like these older ladies that I feel like they have it going on. They have like literally these hair pieces that I'm kind of jealous of. I'm like, how nice would that be? You just get up in the morning
and
and
like put your hair on.
you're out.
I want to know where they go. I went down the rabbit hole the other day of those. There's like these halo things.
I'm like,
and
I kind of
there was a place in Long Beach I want to go. Oh, I'm making appointments. I was like, this is the coolest thing. Because extensions are time consuming. And
oh, I can't imagine.
I would love to just
too,
throw,
right?
yeah, I would just love to throw on a wig.
And
but
go?
I've bought wigs, okay? And I'm hot and I get itchy. And I feel, and I always think it's
If
not
just like
made
a
for me.
partial wig, like it's not a whole one. Yeah, sometimes I'll be going to do their treatment and I turn around and I'm like, whoa.
They just took this whole thing off.
Okay.
We see it, yeah.
Well, hello there. So, okay, there's that. So yeah, laser hair removal is the best gift that anyone can give themselves, if you ask me. Especially it's gotten to be so cheap. It's ridiculously cheap. Now it's cheaper than waxing, I think, and it's permanent.
It's permanent. No, it's true. We
That's the
wax at my spa, and it's down to like very little. I mean, we do eyebrow cleanups and stuff, but everyone's lasered. And then the people who are blonde or redheads, I know they do electrolysis. What do you think of
Okay,
that?
so you can. So at DermFx, there's 3 types of wavelengths that do laser hair removal. We do all of them because we want to be able to interchange and see if there's one type that works on those harder hair types because it's attracted to the pigment of hair. It needs to see it to be able to do something with it. It makes it really hard if there's no pigment in the hair, right? So a white hair, it sees it as skin, but that's what keeps it super safe for the skin.
Yeah.
You can trick it though. I've definitely treated redheads with some success. And definitely light brown hair. I mean, if it was like really towhead hair, I would say, like if you're a true towhead, even down south, which isn't common,
Electrolysis.
then it has to be electrolysis still.
So I did electrolysis in the late 90s at
Me
Dr. Fulton's, and I'll tell you the funny story. So they timed you per minute. Okay, they charged you. It was like, I'm gonna make it up. I think it was like $30 every 10 minutes or something. Okay.
Okay.
And I had $250. That's how much money I had. My whole paycheck. I worked at Mother's. And I went over there and they started in the middle and they worked their way out. And she goes, okay, you're at one side. You're at $250 now. And so I had a whole circle and a lot of little fuzz around it. I go, okay, I'll come back and do the next one. Well, I didn't. It was so expensive. I didn't have enough money to do the next one.
So you
So it
have a
looked like I had
hole
ringworm
in
on
your
one
pit.
side because no hair would grow, but it never grew back. It was so funny. It was the best little. And then I
love
did
it.
laser hair removal. It was so funny because they go, "What's going on?" I go, It was a.
Don't ask. I don't want
It
to
was
tell.
an idea I had, and I ended up doing laser, and I did it at DermFx. I did laser at the Seal Beach location, and I loved it. It thinned it out. It was a little different, thinned it out, and I hardly have any hair there. It was
Yeah,
like the best investment.
Yeah, I mean, I never think about a razor. I don't ever even.
I mean, I looked at I was like,
Yeah,
you have
I haven't shaved in 20 years. I've never.
I mean, I need that. I've done laser on I didn't do enough, but I did it on my legs a few times. I did bikini a few times. So it's really thin.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really thin. And my
It gets thinner and thinner. That's
gets
kind of
so
how it
thinner.
works. But it's the best gift you can give yourself, I think. I mean, the amount of time and money that you spend shaving, and razors are expensive.
How much is like a bikini laser these days for like treatment? Do you know?
If we do bikini, and I want to say it's $99, is it?
It's not affordable.
Yeah.
God, it was so expensive when I used to do it.
Well, the first time I ever did it was at UCLA, and it was $2,500 for the bikini line. And I remember the doctor, and it was in a doctor's, like, it looked like an operating room, because that's how everyone thought it was, like laser surgery.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. It's a big deal.
And I remember her being like, "Well, you're gonna have to pay for your thighs." I was like, "Yeah, I figured, but start with this." And
Yeah.
but I was willing to pay
Anything.
anything and everything. I'm sure that's why I'm even in this business, because I was like full of pimples and hair.
And you knew that like when you see it work, was it the coolest feeling?
Oh, I was like, there's going to be an answer, please, because I did electrolysis like on my whole body for 1,000,000 years. I don't know if it. I don't think it worked. Maybe it did. Maybe it. It's hard to tell when you're in the forest.
Well,
and
your
somebody
hair,
pulls
well,
a
your
weed.
hair grows. Like it's a real commitment. That's why I tell
Oh,
people,
it's a
even
commitment.
laser hair removal, you got to at least commit to what, like 6?
At least 6, yes.
Yeah.
Because you have 3 hair growth cycles, right? So we want to hit each one of them at least twice, sometimes 3 times. And if you go out of order or you wait too long and you skip a session, that's what can end up making it, need to be more.
Yeah.
But man, when it's gone, and you guys better do it before that hair turns gray, because I mean, I'm sure there is something, this spray that we used to sell, but it's just people were so bad at using it. You have to spray it on your area like 6 times a day.
And it made it darker?
Actually, it was follicle dye. So it didn't actually do the hair, but to get it into the follicle, you had to do it 6 times a day, every single day for like a month for the fall. And even at that, it's,
It was still.
so people,
No,
it's
I
like,
need to book that. I want to.
but do it before you get gray hairs,
Yeah,
because
that's
that's
so
the bummer.
good.
But
Oh.
yeah, I don't shave. I don't think about it. I always have like no stub, or it's nice.
Yeah,
I do have to say it's nice.
No, it's so nice. Your legs are so nice. And
Oh,
then
sweet. Thank
spider veins. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
did my first spider veins, just letting you know.
Okay.
I had some on my ankles, and I had to wear pantyhose. You injected them.
Yep.
Me and my mother, we got a 2-for-1, I think, because my mom's spider veins drove her nuts, and she was so little to have them. She was such a tiny thing to
Oh,
have
they're
them.
genetic. I don't think it has anything to do
No,
with
and I
anything
remember,
else.
and I always,
I mean, it could, but
and
I
I had to
really-
wear pantyhose, and for the tight hose for like a
Oh,
few
yeah.
weeks. And is that still a thing? Like, what's going on with that?
I
So
don't-
how's that?
We don't do veins that are like that big anymore.
Okay,
So
these were spider veins, but it was a thing then. When we did
no,
it.
we don't tell people to wear those tight hose anymore.
Okay.
No tight hose. Yeah, I mean, when
So is it the saline still, or is it lasers? Like, what are all the different?
well, now
things?
there's an FDA approved, which is kind of a bummer, because I used to load people up with this solution called Sclerodex, which
Yes.
was from Germany, and then once it became FDA approved in the United States, we can only use what's FDA approved. So it was a bummer. And so, like, for this much fluid, it's they make it, of course, expensive. But before, when you would come in, I would load you up with everything you needed for X amount of price, and that was it. I didn't.
Yeah,
'cause
no,
the
you
bottle of
did-
it was whatever, $80, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was back then. But now, you get this little tiny little squirt of it, and it's like, oh, bummer. But yeah, we do laser. You can break them down with laser, which is really cool, because that kind of dissolves the blood with heat. You just clamp off that blood supply with heat, and that can stop it. Or a solution kind of goes in there and dissolves the blood. So either way, sometimes people need both. Veins are hard, though, and it's a commitment also, because it's almost like a root system. So sometimes when you clamp off part of the root system, it can open up on another part, or if you still have that pressure. So you just have to be, it does work, though. I mean, it
I have a
definitely
little
works.
cluster behind my knee.
All right, well, you just make your list, and we'll
and my
go down.
son
and-
goes, "Mom, you have a tattoo of worms."
Oh, isn't that beautiful? I love worm
So I said,
tattoos.
"Oh my God!" I said, "Yes, it's a whole family of worms."
Oh boy.
Mom, I didn't know you had a worm tattoo.
Thank you,
Sure do.
baby.
Thank you, honey.
Oy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get my worm tattoos removed.
Okay, we will have your whole list of things and bring it to everybody, and you can all watch what it all looks like and how fun it is. And it's easy. I don't know why more women don't give themselves a little at a girl and let yourself get rid of your veins or your hair or your freckles or your whatever bugs you.
Hair is such a, especially I got a lot of teenagers, and I don't know what age they're allowed to do it, but the underarms, it bothered me. I remember I had friends who had no armpit hair, and they would shave, and mine would shave, and I get stubble by 2 o'clock. I mean, I remember going swimming, and I had this thick stubble under my arm.
This is
and it was
what I do with
embarrassing
hair,
me.
and everybody's maybe different, and maybe I'll get judged for this, and maybe I won't. I don't know, but this is what I personally do. I've done them as young as 5, but it has to be their idea, not their mom's.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold some kid down and laser him,
Yeah.
right? If the mom's like, oh,
At 12 years
I don't
old, I
like
would have done
her.
anything to remove
Well,
my
I've
underarm
had
hair.
2 kindergartners that didn't want to go to kindergarten because they had a unibrow and a mustache. And the kids are already on top of them. I'm like, gosh, the meanness starts in kindergarten. And I looked at those little girls and said, you know, it hurts to get rid of that. But if you want to get rid of it, I'll do it. But you have to be willing to sit there and do it. Are you going to be able
And
to
were
do
they
it?
so happy?
And they said they would do it. So I was like, okay. And that's how I did it. So, you know, I definitely would not be like, all right, hold her head, you know, with some
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
mom, because we've had some crazy moms too. But yeah, if no age, if they're understanding what it is that they're going to sit there through it and not move or jolt around, then fine.
Yeah, no, I remember my friends getting, I never really had hairy arms, but a lot of my friends, especially the pretty girls, I feel like the pretty girls, people will find anything to make fun of them, but the prettiest girls sometimes would always get bullied for like the dumbest things, like arm hair. I'm like, I would love to look like her and take the arm hair.
Girl,
So
can I tell you what my brothers used to do to me? This is you jerks if you're listening. Ooh. They would hold me down because I had like orangutan hair, right? And they would go like this around in a circle, and I would end up with all these hair knots, like all over my arms.
and you have to like detangle your arms.
Oh, you couldn't detangle it. It was like a full on like Rastafarian dreadlock, right? And so then I would have to clip them, and I had like these.
Oh, like patches.
So then I would have to shave my arms, and so
Then it felt stubbly.
yeah.
That's
Thanks,
funny.
bros.
You had a lot of hair.
Girl, I'm telling you,
That's a lot of hair.
a lot of hair to be able to have knots like from
Yeah.
going like that. So yeah, that would be. Well, they're just pissed because they're both bald, so whatever.
You're like, sorry, I got all the hair.
But yeah, they definitely traumatized me with that hair, boy. Woo-wee. So whatever. I'm glad it is what it is, and it was what it was. But now I guess it's my turn to like be like, okay,
Well, look at this.
look at this now. Even
Yeah.
though I had orangutan hair everywhere else, now I got orangutan hair only on my head.
Yeah, because you do have so much hair. I told you earlier.
It's a lot of hair.
I
It's
mean,
a
that's
lot.
all your
All of it.
full, thick, gorgeous hair.
All that's my hair.
And it's hard because so many girls are so insecure about hair
I know.
and so insecure.
There's so much you can do now, though.
Yeah.
I really do. I love to inject PRP into scalps. I feel like that really does work. If you're doing that and washing your hair with like minoxidil, I think that you really can at least save what you have.
Okay.
There's some,
I have thin.
but you can't
not
just be thinking
horrible,
you're not
but-
going to do anything and you're balding.
Well, I had 2 breast reductions, and one was pretty gnarly. And they actually, that's a whole story in itself. But I had things that they were supposed to send to biopsy, and they never sent it, and they removed a bunch of stuff. I know I'm still not a happy camper, so mad about it. But it was a gnarly surgery, and I asked for my surgery report. It was really a long surgery. I still don't understand what was going. It was really, really long, and I lost all my hair after the anesthesia.
Yeah.
So the next few, I couldn't believe just like hair.
After I've had anesthesia too, I'll get
I
clumps of hair
cannot
falling
believe
out.
how much hair. And also, my hair was in a bun, and how whatever they did the hair clip cut into my scalp because you're under, and I was under for so long, so I had like a gnarly hole, and the hair never grew
geez.
back there, and tons of hair was missing. So it was really interesting, like how much I was reading about, like what to do. Silica was amazing. I wish I knew about the PRP, but that's why I was looking at the wigs and all the things, because I was like, I got to figure this out.
Yeah, you're like,
so
I'm
I would
gonna go
wear my
bald.
hair up in a tight fake ponytail every day.
Oh,
And I
until
loved
grew
it.
back. That's okay.
It was fun. I looked like just like you, but it was a fake
Okay.
ponytail.
Well, you figured it out, right?
And now
As
my real
we
hair,
women
this
do.
This is all my hair here, But like this is the wavies extensions.
You never know. It's super
It's
cute.
super natural. Yeah,
Ah,
they
your
have
hair's
it down
adorable.
now. They have it down.
Yeah, you can do something about it, but don't suffer, ladies. If that's you guys, come on, let's talk about something. I mean, there's definitely, and men too, as long as it doesn't get shiny, where those, like, that's what I call it. I go, if your cul-de-sac is shiny, this is what I tell men. If your cul-de-sac is shiny, it's over, baby. I mean, those follicles, I have to be able to see follicles in there because then we could re-stimulate that hair to grow. There's so much stuff on the horizon coming out. I really think they're going to cure baldness in the next 10 years.
That's really cool.
I really do. There's going to be so much more stuff coming out. It's really cool.
There's a lot of guys getting the tattooing, which actually I've seen really good work where they kind of.
I have too. And if you get bad work, we can remove it too. We've removed quite a few of that where they
that's
got
good. Oh, the bad
because
ones
you know
are
that
the
there's
worst.
hairlines. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but like a black man's hairline versus like a white man's hairline, totally different.
Yeah.
So if you're a white man and you get a black man's hairline, you look freakish. Like a black man's hairline is like curved off. So a white man with that, it looks so anyway, that's what I was taking off of this one white guy that had like this full like
They did the wrong shape, and
yeah, I was like, this is like for a black man, and he's like, what do you mean? And I was like showing him different like things I was like, see how a black guy's hair goes like straight across and like down, and then a white guy's is more like they think they're balding, but it's just more receded here and then like a front.
different shape.
Yeah, it's a different shape. But anyway, yeah.
I
so we
saw
were
a
trying to
guy
remove
the other
that.
day who had it really well done, and I could tell only because I do this, and I had to really look, and I was like, that is like
good
really lightly shaded because he still had a little bit of his hair. And it just I had to really look. I was at a basketball game. My kids play basketball. It was really bright, so I could see it. I was like, that was really well done. And I've seen it so bad where they look like exactly. It was like dot 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 dot. dot. It's like almost like a pattern.
Yeah.
I'm like, hair doesn't grow like that. And also eyebrows. Like my eyebrows are microbladed. And it's really natural.
pretty.
And where
Yeah,
my
mine are too. I feel like mine have started kind of balding on the edges. So
Yeah, I did a little here, and there's some good. They have such good techniques now and girls are doing that. So girls who don't have hair here, they're microblading little that
definitely.
little light thing, so wherever they're
Yep.
missing, and it looks so pretty if their hair's back, if it's done right.
that's right. If it's done right, all of it. If it's done right, right.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, what about speaking of done right? What is this? What is this new
Okay,
trend?
first of all, how pretty is she?
Girl,
And
she looks like a 10
eyebrow
on a 10
trends.
scale.
This is a
one
cat
thing
eye
about-
surgery
the
which
one thing
combines
with eyebrow
multiple
trends is
operations,
you don't wanna
removal
change
of
your
skin
brows.
from the upper eyelid, a canthopexy where you detach the corner of the eyelid and you reattach it into a higher position, and some type of a cheek or temporal lift. I'm not a fan of that type of blepharoplasty. You can see it creates
can't
a
think she looks
scar
pretty, can
coming
she?
out
I
in
mean,
a
you
very
just look
unnatural
freaky.
position in
Well,
the
changing your
eyelid.
eyebrow
But what do you
shapes are
like?
so trendy. It's like
Natural
I'd rather
or
someone shave
cat
the eyebrows
eyes?
off and draw them
Natural
higher.
Ariana Grande
That's right.
or
And then
cat
be
eyes
over
Ariana
it in a
Grande?
couple years, and
No, I
actually
don't think she had
use some
surgery done.
Latisse
This
and
is
grow 'em
probably
back.
makeup.
yeah, exactly. Instead of actually like eyebrows change. Gosh, if I had to do a surgery to make my skinny arched eyebrows from the 90s,
Oh, yeah.
I would look like shit now. So it's like they do change.
They
That's
totally
such
do.
a permanent way to change your eyebrow shape.
Well, I wonder too where it was on the side, like where they detached it from the side. It almost seems like it wouldn't close because it seemed like there was like a gap there. I'm like thinking, is that going to dry your eye out super
That would
harshly?
be horrible.
Look at the suture marks on her. I'm sorry, but are those like an inch way too forward?
I mean, she could have a halo of a.
What? I don't even think surgeons. I mean, this is like a whole different thing
Where
that
is
maybe.
this from?
Yeah, I don't know. In Asia, that they do these really crazy things, but like I don't even think people cut across the forehead to do surgeries like that anymore because you can do it like atheroscopically, so you don't have to have that huge incision. That is nuts. Oh man, I would be growing some serious bangs.
There's another one where you see them. They almost look like they're stitch marks all over their face, and I'm like, how is that healing without scarring? I've never like.
Hey, talk about having
Oh,
some
there it is.
there it is. It will be anchored up there, man. If you don't scar, that is some anchored skin, right? That ain't never gonna fall. Whoa. I feel like it looks like some ritual. Like, what did they do to her?
Look at her eyes. She looks so.
She can't even
uncomfortable.
close her eyes.
After. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's no scarring. Whoa. I
mean,
guess.
maybe her hair was covering it. But look at, I mean,
She does look much better.
It's so
Hey,
much better.
I don't know
I mean,
what
that's
that
a
is,
really.
but I would be so afraid of the scarring.
I can't. I'm too wimpy with that. I'll try some stuff, but not that. Especially with the skin.
She looks so uncomfortable too. I don't know about these
her
cat
eyes like it.
A little bit of I like a little bit of cat eye, but man, that's a lot. You know what we do that I love is we do threads and do cat eyes, and it's like lasts for like 9 months.
Oh,
Do
that's
that.
fun.
Like, why do you have to have a surgery and change the whole structure of your face? I don't know. I just feel like that might be something like a tattoo, or a few years later you go, ew, or why'd I do that?
Why did I do that? Well, that's what I say. It's
Like,
so
how are you
permanent.
going to get your cat eye back to a round eye if that's like what you're doing?
Yeah.
Well, the one time I did have a girl come in, this beautiful Hispanic girl that wanted me to give her Asian eyes. She literally wanted me to inject on the top of her eyelids to get, and I was like, what? I said, no way. Are you? Every Asian wants to have like a more rounded eye. She said, no, it just looks like a bedroom eye. So I just want to, I want that. And I was like, girl, okay. I said, listen, I want you to go home and I want you to like Google Asian eye surgery and read every single one of those that comes up. And if you still want it tomorrow, I'll do it.
When she didn't come back.
She sure did.
She did?
She did, and we did it. I gave her, I mean, I guess you're young, so if you have like that, you know, most of us have like fat
So
that's
how did you do
protruding up
it?
here. I just literally injected like every place that we would have a fat pad that's falling.
Did it look good?
No, I didn't like it, but I mean,
She liked it.
she liked it.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard
It's
to not
hard
put your
because-
personal like bias into it too. Like, okay, it's the style, I guess, if it's you like, right? Not I don't know that that's a style. It's your style, okay? But like,
It's hard. It's hard when people come in. For me, I don't have to change someone's look, so that's harder for you. You have it more. But sometimes people want like really strong treatments or like peels. I'm like, let's do a mild peel more times than like a big strong. Like their skin can't handle it.
Yeah.
Or that like I'm like it just let's not get too crazy. And like
Yeah.
it's hard for me that when people want to do something or though people
Super
will come in.
crazy.
Like I love big noses.
okay,
And so
I do too.
I really do. And I think they're so pretty when girls come in and want their noses. Sometimes I get a nose job. I get it.
Actually, that's my daughter. We fought about her nose like our entire life. I think
I just
she
think
looks
my-
very ethnic, and she's got a gap.
I
And
love
she's
a
got-
nose and a gap.
Oh my gosh! So she's always like, "You don't know, you don't have one," blah blah blah. And I'm like, "You will look like every other chick on the planet if
Yeah,
you
no.
shave off that bump."
My
and
mom
close
never
that
touched
gap.
her nose, and it was my favorite thing. She touched everything but her. I swear, mom touched everything
good.
on
Her
her
face.
hands, her nails, her legs, her veins, her face, her Botox, her
Everything.
boobs. She lipoed her ass.
Okay.
She lipoed her ass a bunch of times. She wanted to look like Twiggy, and she wanted to be skinny, but she never touched that nose, and I loved it because she always had kind of a bigger nose, and it was so pretty. So, anyways,
It's always what you don't have, though. I feel like, right? That's
yeah,
what
I
people
wish
are
my
like,
nose.
"Oh,
So
I want
I've
this, I
had
want that."
people ask me if I had a nose job, which is really sweet.
Oh.
And I have not. And I think that's so sweet. But I actually always wanted my nose a little bigger. So I was like, oh, I think I would like
Bigger
cuter.
how? I think your
don't
nose is
know.
so cute.
It's cute, but I would love a little more bigger. It's so funny, but I would never touch my nose. My nose is fine.
Well, nose surgeries are so serious too. I tell people all the time, you better hate that nose. I mean, hate it. It's the hardest thing to do. I feel like any person that does those, you shouldn't go to somebody that does nose jobs and boobs and this.
only- yes,
No.
I
feel like
agree.
noses are so insanely hard. They're in the middle of your face, so any sort of weird anything, everyone in the whole planet's going to see it.
Yeah.
Like it's going to look weird.
And
And
a
I
bad
feel like
no-
most people don't just get one. Rarely did somebody get a home run off of. If you had a nose job and you did it one time and you love your nose, would you please let me know who did it so I can tell the rest of the planet? It's always 2, 3, whatever. Or you get this great looking nose and now you can't breathe, or I don't know. I always feel like there's some issue or something where it's like, now I got to go do this. Now I got to go. Oh man, I just feel like you better hate that nose. Otherwise, forget about it. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Okay, everybody. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being with us. Amber from Facial Lounge, Erin from DermFx. Please let us know any kind of comments that you want us to break down for you. Beauty treatments, trends, whatever. We're here. We're ready to do it, right? All right. High five, girl. See you guys. Bye-bye.